Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Computer Applications at Ozarka College. Today what I want to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Word Module 1 assignments that I finished grading this morning. I graded most of them last week, but there were a few that I finished grading this morning. You haven't already done so, go ahead and look at your grades for those activities and let me know if you have any comments or any questions. When I grade the assignments for this class, I always put grading comments in, and so always go ahead and make sure that you read the grading comments. I'm always very specific on what I'm counting points off for and why, but if you do have questions after reading through the comments, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the assignments. There are a couple of things that some common mistakes that I'm going to cover in just a few minutes. But like I said, overall, most of you, it's obvious that you're putting the time and effort in to the assignments, and so I really appreciate that, so keep up the good work. I did notice a few students didn't submit the assignments for some reason. There may be some of you that are still trying to get your textbook or get the correct software for the class. If you're still having those issues, let me know. Send me a course mail. Let me know about that. We'll work something out for this week to allow you to get that first set of activities submitted. But you will need to go ahead and get caught up this week because our next set of activities is due later this week. And so you'll need to make sure that you're caught up with Module 1 first, and then immediately get started on Module 2. All right? Now, there were some common errors on the assignments that I want to cover very quickly here. The first thing is the paragraph spacing. All right? So, on the paragraph spacing, most of you did this fine, but there were a few of you that kind of got confused with the paragraph spacing. And for example, which paragraph you needed to select, and then whether you needed to add the spacing above or below that paragraph. All right. Now, on this particular assignment 1, the washing your hands flyer, it wanted you to change the paragraph spacing below this how heading above the numbered list. So the way that you would do that is you would click somewhere in the paragraph where that heading is, and then you'll go up to the Layout tab up on the ribbon, and in the spacing section, notice there's a before box and an after box. And in this case, it wanted you to change the spacing after that paragraph. So you would click in the paragraph that it specifies, which in this case is the heading above the numbered list, and then you would change the after box setting to 0 point. Okay? And of course, I've already changed it on this document. All right? But it starts out at 6 point, and then you have to click on the down arrow in that box to get it down to 0 point. Okay? All right. It wanted you to do the same thing to the when heading above the bulleted list. So again, you would click on the when heading paragraph and then go up to the Layout tab on the ribbon, and then in the after box, in the spacing group there, you would choose 0 point. Okay? By clicking the down arrow enough until you get to 0 point. All right? And then down here on the signature line, it wanted you to change the spacing above the signature line to 12 point. Okay? It's automatically set to 0 point, and so you have to basically click, let's say it started out 0 here, which is the default for before the paragraph. Then to change it to 12, again, you have to click in the paragraph first that you need to change the paragraph spacing for, which in this case is the signature line, and then you would go to the before box up here on the Layout tab, and choose the up arrow. Click the up arrow enough times to get it to specify 12 point as the spacing, paragraph spacing above the signature line. Okay. Now, some of you, what you did was you, instead of clicking on the signature line and changing the paragraph spacing before, you clicked on the paragraph above the signature line, which is basically the last paragraph of the bulleted list, and then you change the spacing after. Of course, they both do the same thing. They add that 12-point space between the paragraphs there, but always make sure, and I didn't count off if you did that, as long as you added the 12-point space there, but always pay attention to the paragraph that it's wanting you to apply the spacing either before or after to. You know, make sure that you're actually clicking on the paragraph first that it wants you to change the paragraph spacing for. All right. So, like I said, some of you had problems with that. Most of you were able to do that all right, but there were some of you that probably still need to practice applying paragraph spacing. All right. Another thing I noticed that some of you did that I want to cover very quickly is on assignment 2, you were instructed to open up the data file, and the data file is on the, let me go back here and I'll show you where it is. So for assignment 2, of course, it tells you to open up the data file. One of the very first instruction for this assignment is to open up the data file called SC slash or dash WD slash or dash 1.1, and it wanted you to open that file, that Word file first, and then format it basically. And so these the pictures that you, the picture and the data file that you needed for that assignment were under resources here. Okay, and so just make sure that when you're reading through the instructions for the assignments that says to open up an existing file, a data file, and then make changes to it, just make sure you do that. Some of you, instead of doing that, you just created a new Word document, and you still created the flyer, but you didn't really follow the instructions. The assignment 2 was really designed to kind of build your editing skills. Not creation of the document, but editing of an existing document. And so just make sure that you're following the instructions. And there will be assignments as we go through the semester that will want you to do the same thing. It'll ask you to open up a data file, and those data files are under resources here. You open up that file, and then you make the specified changes to that file, and then you submit it after you made the changes. Okay, so just make sure that you kind of carefully read through the instructions for each assignment. Okay, just let me know if you have questions about that. Most of the other mistakes on the assignments were just kind of common formatting errors that I don't feel like I need to go over every one of them. A lot of it was just stuff that I think some of you just kind of skipped over, and that happens sometimes. So what I would say to that is if you did skip over some formatting steps on the first set of activities, for the remaining activities this semester, I would just make sure that I give myself plenty of time to work through the assignments, and just make sure that you double check everything as you go and make sure it looks like the examples that are given. Okay, it will always show you either in the textbook or in the assignment instructions. If I've created those myself, which I have on some assignments, it will always show you what the finished file should look like. And so always check yours up against the example in the assignment or in the textbook. All right. Let's see. But like I said, overall, most of you did well. Like I said, I really appreciate the effort that you're putting in. So keep up the good work on that. All right. So that brings us. Actually, one other thing on the Word Module 1 objective test. Most of you did well on that, but I did notice most of you only took it one time. Just as a reminder, you can take those objective tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded on those. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due next. So right now we are on week 3 of the semester. So if we go to the activities page, you'll notice we're on the front end of week 3, and our next set of activities for Word Module 2 are due by the last day of this week, which is Saturday, September 7th. So you've still got some time to work on this set of activities, but I will caution you that Word Module 2 is going to take a considerable amount more time than what the Word Module 1 activities did. And so it's very, very important that you get started on the Word Module 2 activities as soon as possible. You really should already be working on these, but if you haven't started, go ahead and do that today. The Word Module 2 basically is where we're learning how to format an MLA style research paper. So you're going to learn things like how to add a header, which is specified in MLA formatting style, research style, and then how to add a page number to the header, how to add the footnote, if there are any footnotes, and on some of your assignments there will be footnotes. Also how to do the works cited page, and how to format according to MLA style. There are several formatting guidelines for MLA, so you're going to learn all that, learn how to apply that to your document. And let's go ahead and click on the Word Module 2 Assignment 1 link here, and you'll notice I've got some instructions here that you'll need to make sure you read through before completing this assignment. All right. One of the main things I want to point out is that on this Word Module 2 set of activities, you are going to need to make sure that you carefully follow the instructions and make sure that you're using the tools in Word that are specified to insert the citations and the bibliography. Okay, don't just type in the citations and the bibliography entries. Make sure that you're using the tools in Word to do that instead. That's really the whole purpose of going through this Module 2, is to learn not just how to type in the text for the citation, but how to actually use the tools in Word on the References tab to actually learn the proper way to insert the citations and the bibliography entries on the Works Cited page. Okay, so those items are going to be a large number of the points for the Module 2 activities. So if you just type in the citations and don't use the tools, and you type in the works cited entries without using the tools that it specifies, then that's going to be a lot of points counted off. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay? And just make sure, remember there are YouTube videos that I've created down here at the bottom. I've linked them. That's in 3 parts here. That basically are in those demonstration videos. I show you step by step how to do all the formatting in the this assignment, how to format the MLA according to the MLA style, how to add the citations using the tools, how to add the bibliography entries using the tools in Word. And so if you're having a hard time following along with the textbook to do your assignments, use these demonstration videos. That's what they're there for. So again, that's all the more reason to take your time, use all the resources that are available to you. Don't wait until the last day to get started on these activities, because you probably will not be able to get them all completed. You're going to run out of time. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Let me know if you have questions as you're working on those. Let me go back to the activities page. So again, for Saturday, September 7th, we've got the Word Module 2 assignments 1, 2, and 3, and the objective test all due by Saturday, September 7th. So be working on those activities. Let me know if you have any questions at all. And also remember that there is a Word Module 2 help discussion right here under week 3 as well. So if you, as you're working on your activities, if you run into a problem and you need to ask a question, I would rather you ask the question here on the Word Module 2 help discussion item. That way, when I answer your question, other students in the class will be able to see the answers that I'm giving, and it may help other students in the class who have similar questions. Okay? So I would rather you use the discussion item here to ask questions rather than send me a course mail. I mean, you can do it either way, but I would really rather you do it through the discussion. Okay? All right. And that's really all I have for you for today. So keep working hard. Be working on those activities. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And I will talk to you sometime again early next week. Thank you.